This is a packing crate that came into a local factory from Germany with some big long metal part in it, or parts in it, and my nephew gave them to me free, several of them, and I'm thinking about trying to use them as a raised planter. So I need to have something to set them up on, and yesterday at the local garage sale in Cushing, I got 4 metal stools at $5 each. I wonder how that would work. I'll have to take a fence post maybe and put these a little more so they won't tip over. Something like this. Probably put a fence tape, electric fence type tape across these to kind of keep the deer from it. So they're, I would say, maybe 7-inch depth, 8-inch across, and about 3, 6, 9, maybe 12 or 13 feet long. Got enough for 2 of these if I want to. So the first thing I should do is probably put some holes in the bottom. It's not treated wood, so I probably should paint it. Got a dull bit. Well, I'll go get a different bit, but I'm going to put holes in it. And then I think, since it'll take quite a bit of potting soil, maybe I'll put some, first layer is mulch, maybe a layer, a couple inches of mulch, and then some potting soil on top. And then at least paint the inside they're free, and I think totally I probably have 10 of them. And it says fragile, but I don't know what would came in them. Probably some kind of metal stock. So if I put a lower wire or tape around it and a higher one and a middle one, maybe I have trouble with raccoons, with woodchucks, squirrels, deer, chipmunks, just about anything. But anyway, I thought, well, I'll try a raised bed and just see. I think I'll plant a few flowers, maybe some vegetables like peas, a few peas, and a couple of tomato plants or something. Anyway, I've got 2 of these. I could put them this side up. And then strap it on. That would take them a little higher, wouldn't it? Let's see what that would look like. That's pretty sturdy. I like that. The legs will sink a little bit into the ground, which makes it more stable. I think that's the way I'll do it. There's a block underneath, so if I set the block right in, it can't go sideways, can't go lengthways. Nice. Well, I'll go get the other one out of the garage and get me a better bit. Not sure what kind of wood it is, but I think it's from Germany. At least the language, the writing seems to be Germany. Schmoltz, Bickerbach, oh, USA Incorporated. East Wilson Street, 605 510 Batavia. Made in Italy, it says. So whatever came in here came from Italy. All right, drill some holes, get some paint. A table I can use here. This is the edge of the orchard here, so it's right by the yard, so I can run the garden hose over here easily. Got a gallon of acrylic exterior latex flat paint from the Menards back in what they call the oops section, where they've mixed it up the wrong color, and so they sell it for $5 a gallon instead of $35 or $50 a gallon. I don't have any idea what color it is. Well, it needs to be stirred. Sort of a brown with a lot of, I'll have to do a little bit of mixing for sure. That'll be nice. So I'll get my stirring rod and drill for that later. Whoop. First, I'm going to drill some holes in it, so I got to get a bit that actually will cut. This one here needs to be sharpened, and it's probably a little too big at 7/8. I think I'll get a little smaller one. Brought a piece of an old tape measure. The center had come apart to see if I can measure the inside dimension. Okay, it's 7 inches across, 6 inches deep. So I got 7 inches by 6. Not a lot, but it's okay. Let's see if I can. I'm going to tip this upside down. I think I got a better, sharper bit this time. Smaller one. Let's see. Yeah, that works. Wood, it smells like pine, so I'm guessing it's some kind of a pine material. It doesn't give a wood stamp on it. paint stir. It's a piece of wire that's that's stirring up good. Okay. Whoop. So, let's see. Sort of a brown with a little bit of a maybe purplish look to it. When I was a Boy Scout leader over in Byron, Minnesota, we had a project where we made, I think, 6 picnic tables. We bought the wood. Anyway, we put them together for a campsite that we had out by Byron, Minnesota at the Sportsman's Club. And we needed to paint them. And so I asked the scouts to check at home and see if they had any paint, latex paint, that was left over and was sitting in the garage that would still look like it might be good and wasn't going to be used. And then I went to the local Menards in Rochester, Minnesota, where they had Oops paint too. And I asked them for some of their paint that they had, and so I got something like 2 or 3 gallons of Oops paint free. Oh, that looks much better. Anyway, so then we took it out to our picnic table area to paint, and I had a 5-gallon bucket, and we just dumped all the paint that we had, all the latex paint that we had together into that bucket and stirred it up, and came out looking kind of like this, maybe a little more purplish. And I think that's the case when you mix up different colored paints. You end up with sort of a brownish purple. Anyway, we painted them, and we didn't really mind that it looked a little odd color. And then we set them up out at, well, it was our campsite was called Camp X. And we had done project. We built a big shelter out there. I furnished the wood. I cut it on the sawmill and hauled it down. 16-foot rafters, and then a metal roof over it that we bought. We managed to get enough money to buy the roof, and then we had a real nice shelter. We had the 6 picnic tables inside of it, and so as I recall, I probably furnished the wood for the picnic tables too, because being that it was going to be inside, we didn't have to worry about treated wood. we've had a sawmill since in the probably about 1970, and so we always were able to cut wood. That sawmill is no longer in use, but I have a band sawmill now, so I can cut up stuff. But this stuff here was free because my nephew likes to scrounge some of the leftover packing crates at the factory he works at, and had offered some of these to me, knowing that I'm just as much of a pack rat and use things as he and my rest of my family is. Boy, I'll tell you, that's going to look nice. So my gallon of paint is $5. This is free. Each of those stools is $5, so I got $10 and say about, I'll say $1 worth of paint on here. 11, couple of fence posts, which probably I don't need, but those I had on hand. And okay, so I don't really care if I get my stools painted, do I? So I can slobber a little paint on them if I want. That paint, really, I don't know if it'll help preserve it, but it sure makes it look more elegant. I think I have 6 more of these, and I've got a couple short ones too that are half the length of this. I should be painting on the house today instead. It's a little damp though, but we're have a big old farmhouse, and we're in the process of repainting the wood siding. Well, it was built in 1917. Siding's in still pretty good shape, but the paint keeps about every 5 to 10 years or 8 years. I gotta scrape it because more of the original old paint flakes off, and then so I have to scrape that off and then repaint it, prime it, and paint it. It's sort of a never-ending process. And then to make things really bad, because it was starting to peel and flake off, and painted it for about 6 years, the insurance company decided that it would no longer cover the siding on my house. Now that's a real joke, because if you think about it, that wood siding on that house has been there for 108 years. Still in good shape, just needs painting all the time. And when hail comes, no problem at all, because it's real wood, quite, probably, well, whatever siding is, and the hail just bounces off and doesn't even dent it. Whereas if I took and hired somebody to cover the wood siding with some cheap or even expensive vinyl or metal, if a hailstorm came that had any size hail, would either crack it or dent it, and then they'd have to replace it. As it is, they'll never have to replace it unless the darn house burns down, I suppose, because I do what fixing it needs. If there's a piece that needs replacing, I just replace it when I paint. And so I think what it means is the modern people who are the underwriters, who actually had said that, are so unused to old houses. They just think, well, it's an old house, so we don't even want to insure those places. So let's take away, like, the, get the label off here. I'll save that. Schmaltz and Bickenbach, USA. Swiss Steel. The Swiss Steel Group. So, undoubtedly, some metal, big long metal pieces came in it. Factory that it came to makes brass and stainless steel and other kinds of fittings for, like, hydraulic lines and that, and so it probably was some long pieces of rod in there. That's my guess. Well, I've got the painting of the outside done. I was going to show you the other two. These are two short ones. They're maybe like 6 feet long, something like that. And I'm thinking maybe I'll put those with the stools I've got. There's a bracket down below. I don't know how strong it is, but I could line the two stools up and then put one crossways between the two, so I could have a lower one down there, although I don't really need that. So anyway, these are painted and are drying, and I don't imagine that YouTube viewers are interested in watching paint drying, probably not any more than in watching somebody painting. This is the orchard. At one time there were over 100 apple trees out here, full-size ones, back in the 60s, 70s, when it was a dairy farm with a huge orchard. Now, oh, maybe 20 left, big ones. So what we do is we look to see, right now, have they set? Do you see little apples? And if they have, which looks like they've set real heavy, we'll have a good crop of apples. At least this little tree has. Let's try this old Macintosh. Yeah, there's a lot of them in there. So, and it's time to spray them the first time. And I'll spray them with 7, because 7 has a tendency, if you spray early, it helps shed some of the surplus apples. And there's way too many on here this year, I think. Let's try the Wolf River apple tree. See if we got anything on that one. Last year we had hardly anything. Yeah, there's a lot of them here too. There's where a deer slept last night. There's a deer with a fawn that's out here a lot of the time. The Yellow Transparent is a really early apple. Died back some last year. And it didn't have any apples on it last year. And I don't see a apple set this year either. Huh. No. Sad, because those are end of July apples, early ones. And this tree is dying. See that whole side off of it? That end there. A lot of these apple trees, that one over there is dying. Top of that one is. Apple trees maybe 25, 30 years and then they're done for. We keep planting some new ones, small, semi-dwarf now, but yeah, it looks like we're gonna have, at least some of the trees have apples on them. This one, I think it's a Connell Red. Yeah, it looks like quite a few on it too. How about this one over here? Maybe a Fireside or something. That branch has a few. Yeah, pretty thick up in there too. Looks like we're gonna have a good apple crop. So I'll go get my apple sprayer out and put that on the, I look on the forecast to make sure. This is a wild crab apple. Make sure that it's not gonna rain for a week or so. Ah, this one doesn't have very many set. That has some. See those dried up blooms, and then there's some that's swelling up. Well, so I have a bag of 100% recycled wood mulch. That I'm going to put in the bottom of the planter so it doesn't take quite as much dirt, it has a little bit of chance to... Oh, it's kind of wet. Put in about, I'd say about 2 inches of mulch. 7 inches deep, no, 6 inches deep. So if I put in 2 inches of mulch and 4 inches of soil, should be good enough for some plants. There, I used half of a bag there, so I'll use half of a bag over here. This end needs a little. We'll go over and take a look at it. I probably got 1.5 inches or so. Now let's see if I got any potting soil. Got some Part-Show bags, potting mix premium. It was about 1/3 of a bag. So I'm going to need probably 1, 2, 3, maybe 6 bags of potting soil. Let's see what else I got. I might have some in a pile over here. A little bit. This is dairy cow manure. Oh, so I need to mix that into the potting soil, not put it only in. I think it's not much manure in it. So I need, well, I know I got one more bag. I'll go get that. Well, I found 2 bags of compost plus manure garden. Been sitting around a couple years. Let's see. Quite black. Piece of grass growing in there. Probably need to fill it up fuller because I don't have too much depth before it gets to the gets down to the mulch. I think I'm going to plant some peas, some been sitting outside for a year. So it has some grass has started in it. This is plus manure. Probably quack roots. Piece of wood. That probably is enough in there. So I probably should buy some started plants instead of just planting seeds in here. Then I get a little bit of a quicker start to things. So I need for the other trough over here, I'll need I think 4 bags of mulch. Well, not mulch, I mean potting soil. And then maybe I'll pick up some little plants. That's a good excuse to go to town, isn't it? Well, I bought some $3 topsoil lawn and garden conditioner, adds organic matter and sphagnum peat moss to existing soil. Scott's topsoil, cheap. And then I bought a $10 bag of potting soil for indoor, outdoor containers. Expert gardener. Feeds up to 6 months. I'll get my screwdriver to poke a hole in it. I've got maybe 1.5 inches of mulch in the bottom. Looks like just black dirt. Oh, too heavy for me. Wonder what my topsoil looks like. Looks just like black. I'll mix a little of that on it too. Whoop. A lot of wood chips in it. This one could use some extra, I think. That's pretty full. So now I have to plant something in it. To put some flowers on the end, I think. When we were at town getting the potting soil, I bought one lunchbox fixed sweet pepper, which I'm going to plant right here. Actually, the roots are a little bit deeper than, that's about right. Put the marker there, and then 2 tomatoes, a sweet 100 tomato, give it a little room between them. Organic sweet 100 tomato, and an early girl tomato. Pepper and 2 tomatoes, that should be enough. They were sitting out in the sun at the store, so they should be adjusted to the sunshine. Now between the, on the end I should plant some flowers, but I didn't buy any. I've got a whole bunch of old seeds. So marigolds. Petite marigolds, mixed colors. Sounds like just the thing, doesn't it? Why I like marigolds is the deer don't bother them. Put enough seed there for 100 plants. You can take that one over here, Scott.
There's nothing over there?
Nothing at all.
Okay.
You can plant whatever you think would be. See now, you can plant a cucumber because it'll go down, hanging down over the edge. And I think I'll try that. So I'll plant a how about 2 hills of cucumbers? So one is right there, and one is right here. I'll put the buckets. Alright, so I've got some flowers, pepper, 2 tomatoes. They spread out quite a bit. What else should I plant? I want some lettuce.
I got some.
You got some lettuce?
Yeah.
Alright. Mostly flowers in here. String beans? How about if I plant 2 hills of string beans? You gotta have some kind of a marker, don't I, for those? Let's see. I guess I'm gonna have to go in and get a marker. One here and one there.
I think I got some.
There's some
little
wooden
garden
sticks
sticks.
in that drawer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can use those with a marker to label them. All right, morning glories, pansies, zinnias, flowers, 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 flowers. Spinach, nah. Oh, there's a tomato seed. Winter squash, no thanks. Watermelon, carrot. I don't think it's deep enough to do carrots. This must be the flower one, because I think there was another one that had vegetables. Because I don't see any lettuce in here. Radishes. Radishes are pretty fast. So I'll put a couple of them around my pepper here. between here. They'll be all done by the time they got enough seed there for 100 of them. Well, I was still looking for some lettuce. I wonder if I should plant a watermelon. I'll plant those someplace else where they got room. Here's some lettuce. Alright. That needs a stick. Put down, what the heck did I plant there? Cucumbers? No? Yeah. String beans. One here and one there. Then I'll finish this out with lettuce. One here. Yeah. Inside part. Way too much lettuce. Yeah, right here it grows. Thin it out later. There, that one's planted. Maybe a few flowers on the end. Huh? Oh. Let's see. Beets, popcorn, Lilliput zinnias. Oh, cherry tomatoes too. I'll start right here. It's a 20-cent package, so probably doesn't have many seeds in it. Oh yeah. One there and one here. Best if this is from 2017, so it's probably a little bit on the old side. Can you put a few of those up here on this end? Flowers. Zinnias. Mixed. Sell by 2023, so that's not too old.
Look at these seeds.
What are they?
It's spearmint.
Oh, spearmint. That's a perennial.
Oh, really?
Comes back every year.
Oh, yeah.
That's all right. See what happens. Oh, there's nothing planted here.
I got up to here.
All right. This is to try to dissuade the deer from coming in.